It was 2:38 a.m. when my phone buzzed with the garage sensor alert, followed by a second one, movement detected. I jumped out of bed, threw on a hoodie, and bolted downstairs, heart hammering in my chest. By the time I flung open the front door, the scene unfolding in our garage looked like something out of a movie. A woman in a black hoodie was halfway through the gap under our garage door, a crowbar in one hand and a crumpled sheet of paper in the other. 5 feet away, crouched behind my dad's old tool bench, was my 80-year-old grandmother, shotgun raised and aimed with deadly calm. "Take one more step toward that Mustang," she said, "and you'll leave here with buckshot in places you didn't know existed." The woman froze. It was Denise, our HOA's vice president, Taka, the self-proclaimed queen of lawn measurements and mailbox inspections. She'd always been a tyrant with a clipboard, but tonight she came to steal, and Grandma knew it. Now, before we get to how my grandma became a viral legend with a shotgun and a catchphrase, let me explain how we got here. 2 months earlier, Denise got herself elected to the HOA board. Overnight, our peaceful neighborhood turned into a surveillance zone. She handed out violations like Halloween candy, too tall grass, faded shutters, a patio chair out of alignment. But the real war began when she noticed our 1967 Mustang. It was my grandfather's pride and joy, restored lovingly over decades. After he passed, my dad and I kept it running. It stayed parked in our garage door, usually open on warm days. Denise saw it once and immediately claimed it clashed with the neighborhood aesthetic. She called it an eyesore, filed a complaint, and then showed up at our door demanding to inspect the garage under vehicle ordinance clause. My dad laughed in her face. She didn't. Days later, we got a formal warning in the mail: either move the car off premises or store it out of view. It was absurd. The car had been here longer than half the homes in the subdivision. Grandma didn't say much at first. She just watched. Then one morning, she ran her hand along the Mustang's hood and muttered, "This woman's got thief eyes." We thought she was being dramatic until our backyard motion sensor started triggering at random hours. We chalked it up to raccoons. Then we found the side gate's latch broken, scuff marks on the fence. A neighbor 2 doors down said he'd seen someone snooping with a flashlight. That's when Grandma moved into the garage. She set up a cot, brought her thermos, and parked herself next to the car with her old Remington. She said, "I don't trust bylaws and I don't trust her." Denise escalated, filed more fake citations, claimed the car was illegally modified. She even presented a bogus subsection at the board meeting, trying to classify our Mustang as a non-compliant vehicle. My dad came prepared with documents, but Denise just sat there, smug as ever. After that meeting, we fortified the garage, new locks, cameras, motion sensors, but Grandma still wouldn't leave. She said, "They don't break in during the day." She was right. The night Denise crawled into our garage, she had zip ties in her backpack, a forged vehicle seizure notice, and a fake HOA plate cover on her car. She told the cops she was trying to secure community property. Grandma told her to sit on the crate and not move an inch. The footage went viral the next day. My grandma's quote, "Try me, sweetheart," hit meme status within hours. But that was just the beginning. A retired detective named Frank Delaney reached out to us after seeing the video. He had worked a case years back involving mysteriously impounded classic cars. Denise's face rang a bell. Turns out, she'd been involved in 2 other HOAs before ours. Both neighborhoods had the same pattern: classic cars towed over violations, then never recovered. Frank came with documents, photos, case files. Some vehicles had even been auctioned off using fake titles. Her cousin ran a shady repo business that likely funneled the stolen cars for profit. We organized a rally, invited media. Residents brought their old Chevelles and Camaros. Grandma gave a speech that ended with, "We're not afraid of clipboards and khakis." That pressure worked. Wallace, the HOA president, resigned and confessed Denise had forged bylaw amendments and blackmailed board members. He handed over emails, recordings, everything. Denise went on trial. The The courtroom watched the garage footage. Frank laid out her criminal history. Wallace confirmed it all. Denise tried to play victim. Claimed she feared for her life when Grandma confronted her. Said she was misunderstood. Grandma asked to speak. Judge allowed it. She looked Denise dead in the eye and said, "I didn't have to set you up." The truth walked itself into the trap, then held up a thumb drive full of complaints won against a child's lemonade stand. The jury took under 2 hours. Guilty on all charges: attempted grand theft, falsifying legal documents, trespassing, and abuse of authority. She was fined, sentenced, and hit with restitution. Then came the twist. An anonymous tip led Frank to a storage unit filled with ledgers, photos, and VIN numbers tied to the repo ring. Denise's cousin was arrested. Denise faced additional federal charges. Our HOA board was rebuilt. New oversight. Transparency. Grandma was offered a ceremonial key to the city and laughed, asking if it could keep crooks out. We bought her a 55 Bel Air for her 81st birthday. When she saw it, she whispered, "Well, damn, boys. Guess I'll need a bigger shotgun." The Mustang stayed in the garage polished every Saturday. A plaque above it reads, "Protected by Rose." At night, the spotlight hits it just right. People still ask what brought our neighborhood back together. I tell them it wasn't the police. It wasn't the court. It was an 80-year-old woman with a shotgun, steel in her spine, and zero tolerance for bullies. And thank God for her.